You are listening to STR, the Sandy Times Radio.
Can't tell why you're coveting that designer bag? Keep on listening. The Sandy Times is exploring the rich history of signature bags and how fashion houses successfully translated their legacy to fit our modern lifestyle. Dior, Lady or Saddle. Hi everyone, this is the Eat Bag Fashion Podcast on STR. These bags are so pretty you'd want to eat them. This season we talk about iconic accessories. Each episode will explore one of the hottest bags on the market. Today we dive into the world of Dior. Turn the volume up. A matter of diplomatic affairs. It is December 9th, 1996. New York City is buzzing with A-listers and celebrities more than usual. And for good reason. The Metropolitan Museum of Art is hosting the annual Met Gala. The theme of the evening honoring Christian Dior. Photographers stand shoulder to shoulder and willing to step on toes to get that perfect shot. Standing out from the crowd, Lady Diana is radiating sensuality and sophistication. The British royal is captivating the lights in head-to-toe Dior. She's wearing a peacock blue lingerie-inspired slip dress with a matching mini Lady Dior bag. The same purse named after her. But how did we end up there? Well, it all started with a state visit in 1995. The French First Lady Bernadette Chirac offered to the Princess of Wales a black padded square Dior bag. The man behind this idea was Bernard Arnault, the CEO of Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. The handbag was newly released, and some say that Arnault went for a daring marketing stunt. It is safe to say that it worked out. Lady Diana used the purse regularly. It became associated with her. The People's Princess loved the bag so much that she requested a navy version of it to complement her eyes. In 1997, the handbag was officially renamed as Lady Dior. It was an homage to the princess who became the bag's unofficial ambassador, and a play on words with her nickname Lady D. The association with the most fashionable woman at the time led to Dior selling 200,000 Lady Dior handbags within 2 years. The soft lambskin padded leather Dior purse is a revamp of the chouchou. And no, we're not referring to the Catalan pastry. The word chouchou is a pet name you give to your favorite person, well, in this case, handbag. The chouchou was first introduced in 1989 by then creative director Gianfranco Ferrer. The Lady Dior is made out of 144 leather pieces. Insane, right? It has a square shape and rounded handles. The bag was available in 3 sizes, 20 types of material, and 53 colors. It also displayed a cluster of logo letters dangling from the handle. They spelled Dior. The letters were a nod to Monsieur Dior's Lucky Charms. Recent reinterpretation by Maria Grazia Curie cemented Lady Dior's timeless status. The Lady Dior has become a fashion icon and a heirloom. Today it is available in 5 sizes: micro, mini, small, medium, and large. Also, Maria Grazia revisited this classic handbag for Fall-Winter 2022. She introduced Lady Dior 9522. The new edition is more casual. It has a curvier shape and metal handles with different finishes. This reissue wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the fame and prestige of the house. To know more about it, let's see how Christian Dior became Dior. From Granville to Avignon-Montaigu. Christian Dior was born in 1905 to a wealthy family in Granville, a beautiful seaside town on the coast of Normandy. He lived in what is known today as Villa Dior. The residence kept its original charm and didn't change with time. It is still painted in a very soft pink and has grey graveling. At the age of 5, Christian moved to Paris and stayed with his grandparents. He spent his time cultivating his interests in arts and fashion. Between 1930 and 1938, Christian Dior suffered serious blows. He was constantly looking for a job and moving back and forth between Granville and Paris, but his fortune changed by 1940. Christian slowly built a reputation for himself by selling his fashion sketches to newspapers. During World War II, he worked for a fashion designer Lucien Lelon, who became his mentor. During his 5-year tenure, Christian developed his knowledge and honed his skills. In 1946, he launched his own label. It remains headquartered on 30 Avignon Montaigu in the 8th arrondissement of Paris. In February 1947, Dior debuted his first collection. The new look was born, a new chapter was starting. Despite Monsieur Dior's death only 10 years after the creation of his label, the spirit of Dior endures till today thanks to his worthy successors. Guardians of spirit, keepers of dreams. The House of Dior has seen 8 different creative directors after Christian Dior. Yet, there has always been a sense of continuity. The creative directors saw themselves as the guardians, curators, and custodian of Monsieur Dior's legacy. The references and symbols within this historic fashion house are just impressive. For example, the Canigou pattern was inspired by the Napoleon III style chairs in Dior's Parisian salon. The Canigou was drawn by Christian Dior himself. It was introduced as a decorative motif for the houses of fresh perfume in 1953. The pattern was rarely used between 1960s and 1980s. But the 1990s marked a turning point. The Canigou was chosen to be on Lady Dior. For the last 30 years, it has been omnipresent from women's wear to menswear, from clothes to jewelry, and everything in between. Another household monogram is the oblique. It was first introduced in 1967 by the then creative director Marc Bohan. The design itself dates back to 1951. It was first sketched for the autumn-winter collection of 1950-1951 titled Oblique. If you think of it, Dior was doing logomania before it was even existing. Until late 1990s, logos never appeared elegant. Yet Dior pioneered the concept in the first half of the 20th century. Among the label's famous 2000 pop culture moments, the Dior Oblique Saddle bag. After falling under the radar in the 2010s, the Oblique made a sensational return in 2020. Some of Dior's creative directors were the founder's apprentices and friends like Yves Saint Laurent. He ran the house from 1957 till 1960. And Marc Bohan, who was in charge for 30 years. Others had to endlessly flip through the archives to remain loyal to Dior's legacy. Raf Simons, creative director from the 2012 to 2015, current Maria Grazia Curie, fall into that category. The list of Dior's head designers includes celebrated fashion creatives. However, 2 names distinguished themselves from the rest, Gianfranco Ferré and John Galliano. These 2 complete opposite styles, yet equally creative minds, ensured that Dior continues to strive. Ferré and Galliano can be credited for preparing Dior to enter the new millennium with panache. After Gianfranco gave us the Lady Dior, it was time for Galliano to leave his mark with the saddle bag. An icon of recent history. It was 1999, and John Galliano was shown Dior's Spring-Summer 2000 collection. The models are wearing cowboy denims, soft muslin scarves, and have something strange under their arms. It is a kidney shape with the letter D charm dangling. It is the saddle. Rumor has it that the bag was inspired by the 1976 Saddle One Paris Helmut Newton photography. Galliano was sick of the grunge chic and minimalist trend of the last century. He wanted a new direction for the new millennium. Galliano found in the avant-garde style a perfect fit. And just like the Fendi baguette, the saddle had to be carried by Carrie Bradshaw on Sex and the City to induce its shopping fever. The Carrie effect was tangible. Within a year of the saddle's release, sales were up by 60%. It became one of the house's bestsellers. The bag got worldwide popularity. So Galliano started releasing highly collectible versions of it. Among them, the saddle in the Dior Oblique monogram. Like we've discussed in our last episode about Fendi, logomania saw a rise and a fall. The saddle was discontinued in 2007. When the Y2K trend hit, Dior brought back the saddle in 2018. The new version is more robust and has larger proportions. The new saddle also comes with a removable crossbody strap to suit the active lifestyle of Dior's millennial and Gen Z clientele. In 2010, the saddle was sold for less than $130 on eBay. Today, it is priced at $3,000. The price of the saddle started increasing when Beyoncé was photographed wearing one of the original Galliano designs in 2014. Demand spiked in the second-hand designer market. And it boomed when Bella Hadid was spotted wearing a rare vintage jeans print saddle in 2017. The reboot was imminent. The social media campaign rolled out. With Maria Grazia's approval, the 100 top fashion insiders started posting about the Dior Saddle on Instagram. Within 48 hours, Dior Saddle was trending on Google, and search rates skyrocketed by 957%. The 2000s nostalgia didn't hit women only. Kim Jones, the creative director of Dior Menswear, debuted the saddle for men on the Spring-Summer 2019 runway. After all, who says that men can't have fun with accessories? Nowadays, Dior bags are coveted thanks to 3 creative directors, and it's time to put these creative minds under the spotlight. Ferrea, Galliano, and Curie. So, who are these individuals who propelled Dior to even higher heights? First, let us talk about Gianfranco Ferrea. He took the reins of the house in May 1989. His appointment coincided with a change of perception and mentalities. For the majority of the last century, couture was considered as a luxury. By the end of the 80s, couture became a necessity for women to climb the professional ladder. And there's no better ally than a Dior skirt suit in a conference room. Gianfranco set the house's modern foundations in place. Everything was ready for his successor. The torch was passed down to John Galliano in 1996. He brilliantly ushered Dior into the 21st century. Galliano turned the codes of haute couture upside down. But what is haute couture exactly? Well, there's a French body that sets the laws of what is considered couture. It is l'Assemblée syndicale de la haute couture. According to them, to be officially labeled as haute couture, a label must create original designs made by hand and present 2 collections in Paris per year. Back to John Galliano. He shook the world of haute couture by his theatrical fashion shows that constantly pushed boundaries, and his unconventional designs. Dior pieces by Galliano are highly expensive collectibles. Under his leadership, Dior grew financially and evolved creatively. Galliano's legacy is one of pure genius. Fast forward to July 2016, Maria Grazia Curie was announced as Dior's newest creative director. She is the first woman to step into the top job. Curie brought with her a new flair of femininity and feminism that has been leaving an impact. In the span of 4 years, Gianfranco Ferrea and John Galliano presented 2 radically different handbags that became iconic. Ferrea gave us Lady Dior in 1995, which brought the Canaguio back. And Galliano gave us the Saddle in 1999, which brought the Dior oblique monogram back. Both of these bags fell out of fashion, only to be revived 20 years later by Maria Grazia Curie. Nowadays, they are once again a source of desire and admiration for many. Vintage classics. In 2024, the Lady Dior and the Saddle can be only described as fashion staples. But how can we distinguish a vintage bag from the reissued one? Fear not, we've got you covered. Here are some tips that can be quite useful. First, the Lady Dior. The original design had a zipper closure, and the gilded hardware was made from yellow gold. Whereas the re-edited design has a flap closure, and the hardware has a lighter yellow shade. Now, let us move to the Saddle. The original design had a short detachable strap, a front slab fastened with Velcro, and an inside lined with fabric. Whereas the re-edited edition is more refined. It comes with luxury finishes such as grained calfskin leather. It fastens with a magnetic snap closure, and the inside is lined in suede. When you own a Lady Dior or a Saddle, you should take care of your handbag. It is important to maintain them in pristine condition in order to maximize resale value. If you don't know how to do it, then listen to these helpful tricks. To clean leather bags, you can dust them with a dry microfiber cloth. This will prevent possible stains from drying up and damaging it for good. During seasonal changes, you can use the leather condition to freshen up the leather. Another option would be to apply a water-repellent solution. Nevertheless, you should always seek the assistance of a third-party professional to avoid damaging the purse beyond repair. Also, here are some extra tips. Always stuff your bag with papers to maintain its shape when it's stored away. And don't forget the golden rule. Put the purse in its dust bag. Keep it in a dry place and away from direct sunlight.
Hey guys, my name is Melissa and I'm the owner of the Saddle bag by Dior. To be honest, I prefer it to Lady Dior bag because it's more, to me, it seems like a more of a bag that you can style every day and that you can wear every day. It's more convenient, more, I feel like, fitting. And I'm the owner of the Rasta saddle bag, which I was looking around for ages because it's a very rare model. But thankfully, I found it online on Vintage Shop called Depop. I like to style it with, to be honest, I wear it every day. I like to style it with jeans. I like to style it with dresses. It's pretty easy to style because it's kind of the Rasta vibe is giving of the everyday kind of vibe. And the model itself, the saddle model, is giving of more dressy up vibe. So it's kind of like 50-50. I wear my saddle bag to any occasion really, but specifically I like to wear it on a day out with my friends when I wear my jeans or cargo pants, and I think it looks very cool together. And and the reason why I like it so much is because it kind of has a weird shape. If you think about it, for a bag, it's more of a unique shape. And it's still kind of like a medium size, which fits some things that you like really, really need. But it's also not super big. And that's, I think, the main thing that I like about it. And obviously, the print.
Lady is Arab. If you ask any Arab woman, especially baby boomers and Gen X, to choose between Lady Dior and the saddle, they will pick Lady Dior every time. Princess Diana was a much beloved public figure in the Arab world, and the fashion inspiration as well. The Arabs' love for the Lady Dior didn't go unnoticed by the Parisian label. In 2016, the fashion house launched the Dior Lady Art Project. This initiative gives internationally contemporary artists the total creative liberty to redesign the emblematic bag, and among the participants are renowned Arab artists. In 2020, Manal Al-Duwayan was the first Arab to be commissioned by Dior. The Saudi artist chose to highlight her heritage by putting forward the nostalgic aspects of her personal memories. She used a mix of ancient and modern techniques, like leather stitching and 3D printing. The end result was 3 Lady Dior handbags: the Boys, Landscape of the Mind, and Desert Rose. In 2022, Dior collaborated with 2, not 1 Arab artist. They gave carte blanche to the Egyptian Ghada Amer and the Qatari Busaina Al-Muftah to redesign the iconic bag. Amer went for a color-burst handbag. Her designs included 6 feminine qualities that were embroidered on the bag: strong, determined, resilient, loving, caring, and independent. And the handles were inspired by her abstract sculptures. Meanwhile, Al-Muftah took inspiration from the art of typography to create a poetic landscape. For her handbag, she used delicate shapes of silk chiffon. Dior has always spoken to Arab women on a sentimental level. Now it has begun an actual dialogue with them. It is hard to imagine a woman in this entire world that isn't sensitive to the charm of Dior bags. So, which bag is on your wish list? The Lady or the Saddle?